If you've been enjoying our podcast as much as we have and hope that we continue past 50 episodes, here's your chance. Here's your chance to help make that happen. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, not only will you help the Little House on the Prairie 50th Anniversary podcast to live on, but you'll also get exclusive content just for you.
Here's what's in store for you. Join monthly Q&A sessions where you can ask us about anything. Whether it's about our work, personal interests, or advice on your own projects, we're here to connect and share.
Enjoy unique content created specifically for Patreon subscribers, including bonus segments from our shows.
You'll have a say in what we create, and you'll have a voice in future content.
Benefit from exclusive discounts on merchandise and entries into special giveaways. It's our way of saying thank you for your support.
Receive personalized shout-outs in videos, podcasts, or social media posts.
Because your support on Patreon allows us to dedicate more resources to creating the content that you love.
You could join the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast community on Patreon and become a Prairie patron for just $5 a month. We thank you so much for your continued support, and we cannot wait to share our ongoing journey with you on Patreon. We are extremely grateful for the support of VisitSimiValley.com and the city of Simi Valley's belief in Little House on the Prairie and their support of the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
Discover the charm of Simi Valley, California, the home of the prairie. Visit Simi Valley, where adventure meets history and the spirit of the prairie comes alive. Explore the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. Step aboard Air Force One. Enjoy stunning hikes and savor delicious local cuisine. Whether you're here for a weekend getaway or a family vacation, Simi Valley offers something for everyone and is only 30 minutes from Los Angeles. Plan your visit today and experience the best of Simi Valley. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more details. Your adventure awaits in Simi Valley.
Well, hello, Bonnetheads. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. I'm Pamela Bob, your host. I'm the creator and star of Living on a Prairie. Check it out, livingonaprairietv.com. It's fun. And I am also here with our beloved prairie bitch. That's right, the blonde bombshell, Allison Arngrim. And there she is. Yes, bombshelling it out. And, of course, my hashtag imaginary boyfriend, our other blonde bombshell, Dean Butler. How are you
everyone?
guys?
Hi, Pamela. How are you?
Always such good hair, Dean.
Truly, you just get out of the shower and run a brush through it. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the secret
Yes.
right there.
I do a little gel. Do you do products? Do you do products?
I see it, and you've got the nice bangs
I
going
do. I make
this
it
morning.
shiny. I make it shiny. Yes.
Yeah, and you've got lip gloss on, too,
I
of
did.
course,
I put on my lip
because
gloss
that's an important aspect.
What's there some line, a bitch ain't nothing without her lip gloss? I don't know who said it, but it's true.
It must be you. I bet you said it.
I say
Yeah,
it now.
trademark that.
Bet you.
Yeah.
All righty.
Well,
You guys are heading out very soon.
On
Tell
the
me,
road
where are you
again.
going?
Yeah, we are. This really, as we zero in on the actual celebration of the 50th anniversary of Little House, we are really starting to travel now through the end of the year. We're off to Connecticut this weekend with Jack Bishop's Gravel Road Markets for a 50th anniversary celebration in Hartford. Hartford at Kids Play Museum and in Torrington at the beautiful Hillstead Museum. So it's going to be 3 days of Little House love in Connecticut. And
then because we're completely out of our minds,
I have
we're gonna
no
turn
idea why
right
we're doing
around
this, yeah.
and go straight from Connecticut to Pennsylvania, do this whole thing. Not Lancaster, like we say in California, but Lancaster in Pennsylvania, Lancaster for September 3rd and 4th. We're going to do it all again out there at 2 different locations. And your sister, Lucy Lee Flippin, Miss Eliza Jane, is supposed to be joining us in
She
Pennsylvania.
is.
Oh,
She
good.
is.
Yeah, we get her that. That's gonna be
Love
great
having
fun.
Lucy there.
We don't
Listen,
get
if
her that
people
often.
want to know about any of these events, they can check out gravelroadmarket.com for times and ticket information. So, yes,
I
these
just
are...
can't
these are,
believe we're at the end of August already.
it's incredible.
What happened?
Yeah,
What happened?
this
It's
year
incredible.
has been-
The whole first half of the year is just a complete blur.
Yeah.
It has been amazing.
And then I'm going to France
Amazing.
again because, again, I'm insane. So there you go.
For a while, right? For a long time. You're
really?
going to be. Where are you out there?
How long
October.
are you
I
gonna
got
be
like
there?
7 shows. I'm heading out to October. I'm
You're
doing the whole
just
month
incredible.
of October.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
You all in French. You are totally bilingual with all
Je
of your
fais le
hysteric.
spectacle en français.
Yeah, it's just awesome. Good for you. Good for you. So Patreon, Pamela, just
Yes.
to tell people
Oh my
about
God.
Patreon. I mean,
Well, please, if you haven't joined us already on Patreon, join us on Patreon because we do lots of fun stuff there. Nice extra tidbits for you guys. It's only $5 a month. The link is in our bio. Go, please join us. We're going to have some special things that we're going to do too. Some live Q&As, and it's all in the works. So it's coming.
listen,
Yes.
something that you and I need to, Allison, you and I need to talk
Yes.
about is that we are going to be making an appearance at the initial Country Con
Yes,
in
this
May
is new.
of 2025. This is we're
we're
just
booking
announcing
next
this
year.
for the first
We're
time.
booking
Yes, we are
next
booking
year,
next
guys.
year.
It's
Yeah.
totally
I've never
happening.
heard of Country Con. I guess
It's
there's
It's
a con
first
for
new.
everything.
It's brand new.
It's really cool. Okay, it's an old friend of mine, Robert L. I knew from ETV. Great guy, calls me up. So the people who've done this, they've done a whole bunch of cons and events, so they're cool. But new is Country Con in Tulsa, Oklahoma, brand new, and we're going to be there.
We're going to be there. But today, Pamela,
But today, yes. Today's really exciting as we look ahead to Little House's actual 50th anniversary, which the actual date is September 11th. We're also looking back to our 50th anniversary celebration in Simi Valley, which was pretty epic, and talking about Cozi-TV. That's right. Who'd we be without Cozi-TV?
We would not
And
be.
an
We
all new
Cozi-TV.
documentary produced by Cozi-TV, which is really thrilling.
we've seen a promo. I've seen a promo. I don't know if you've seen it
have
yet,
not. I have
Allison.
not
seen the promo. Yes, I did.
You're in it. They put out a promo. The show. We're going to talk to them all about this, but it's very exciting. We could not have done what we did with Simi without the support of Cozi-TV. They've been an incredible partner for us. So very exciting. So let's get to it.
So, yeah, but before we meet them, I just have to say that from the studios of UBN Go in Burbank, California, me from New York City, this is the Little House 50th Anniversary Podcast. Okay. Let's get right to today's special guests who've been so important to the build-up to this 50th anniversary.
No, they have been. You know, when we started this process, when Allison, you were right there at the very beginning of this, and it was Rachel Greenbush and super fans, and then the Simi Valley Chamber of Commerce got involved, and that brought us eventually to Cozi-TV, who stepped in because they're so vested in Little House and air it and have been airing it continuously for a long time. They were so great to get involved with our program.
No, we love Cozi because Cozi also does really cool Little House promos. They do really funny,
the best.
cute promos and stuff. They've done so many
Carrie
like
Speaks.
Nellie's
The Carrie
worst
Speaks
moments,
promo.
Evil Nellie videos.
Aren't they all worst moments?
They are my worst moments. Cozi has definitely done Nellie highlight things, and it's just
I
I've
want to know
enjoyed
who
it
the person is
enormously.
that knows Little House so well that, well, I guess we'll meet them. Let's bring them on. Producers Cody Broadway, Aggie Fodor, and the creative director of Cozi-TV, Tom Hill. Welcome, you guys. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
How
And
does this
what a
box
name.
appear? There they are.
There. What a name, Cody Broadway.
I think that's
I want to
awesome.
be named Cody
Yeah, no,
Broadway.
that's a star's
That's
name.
one of the best name ever.
Get that often.
Great name. It is a
Thank you.
great name.
Thank
but
you.
Tom, I want to start with you. Please, will you tell our audience about Cozi-TV, as if they don't know what it is already, and its connection to Little House, please?
Well, we are. Thank you. And we're happy to be here.
Great.
Excited about everything that's been going on. But Cozi-TV's been around about 11 years now. Digital broadcast, available many places. On an antenna. It's old school TV on an old school way, but also in lots of cable channels and things like that. We added Little House. I just looked it up, 2016. So it's been a good 8 years, and it's been always popular, always a big part of our schedule. Currently on every morning for 3 hours. I think we're adding an hour. So we're going to go to 4 hours in September. So there's just, you can't get enough of it, right? And yes, we've had a little bit of fun over the years doing what we do, which is putting a little spin on it and putting a contemporary spin on things.
I mean, again, that's right up my alley. You're talking, you're right in my wheelhouse. I love that so much.
Well, Tom, I'm wondering, you've been involved in your ongoing career life a lot with vintage television. I describe it as vintage television, and I think that's probably what brought you to Cozi is your connection and your ability to work with vintage television programs. I'm just curious, as we approach the 50th anniversary, and from someone who's really inside it, where does Little House stand in the pantheon of family televition that
You're talking to two
who has stood the test of
members,
time?
Tom.
I don't have to pretend. It's obvious.
I know.
My career, I've spent my whole life in reruns. Somehow or the other, I stumbled into Nick at Night back when it was a dawning back end of Nickelodeon. I was there in Nick at Night and TV Land, and actually I was remembering in terms of silly promos, we did a wonderful thing at TV Land. Now here I am already talking about TV Land instead of Cozi-TV. What am I doing here? I'm not a good promoter.
No,
it's okay.
History. It's your background.
TV Land was great. I was on TV Land a bunch of times. TV Land's
Melissa Gilbert and I won an award for TV Land as the greatest kiss of all time on television, and it's like
I have my award on the mantelpiece. My award stands on my it's for
I never got an award.
Character,
Tom, where's my award?
I got my character most desperately in need of a timeout. And by God, it is on the mantle.
That's funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
The TV Land Awards was always an epic part of our year. Yeah. Actually, I was just recalling that we did a promo with. You know what? I shouldn't even get into politics. But Donald Trump was in one of our promos. For the TV Land Awards one year, shining the shoes of J.R. Ewing. It was just a moment back when he was just getting started as a reality star.
Wow.
But the one thing we did that was so epic for Little House was the Half Pints, a heavy metal band.
Yes, they were great.
You remember them?
Yes, I saw the
Wow.
It was a bunch of dudes in half pint drag with big braids playing guitars.
God's sake.
Awesome.
It was completely crazy. It's probably somewhere out there.
They have videos and everything. Yeah, they had these metal songs about the party.
But Tom, I'm sorry, I got to get Tom to answer this question. I mean, it's like you had a lot of exposure.
He's
to
avoiding the question.
Yeah, so I mean, where do you, as you look at it as a purveyor of vintage television, where does Little House stand in that conversation of?
It's I remember we at one point did pick the 100 greatest episodes, and Mary Going Blind.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll be waving as you drive away.
I believe that was just like the one that just wrenched everybody's heart and was so unforgettable. And I mean, and again, it's so hard, apples and oranges, right? There's sitcoms, right? Is it better than Seinfeld or The Simpsons? How do you even compare them?
It's just different. It's different. It's different.
But it certainly stood the test of time, right?
Question.
Yeah, thank you.
Still standing.
I mean, and the fact that you have 4 hours of airtime every morning dedicated to Little House, and other networks have 24 hours of Little House. I mean, it's something's still going on with Little House.
It still works.
I'll say top 25. Yeah. We'll just roughly. How about
that? Sure. That's not bad when you consider the thousands of series titles that have been created over the years. That's not a bad place to be. Not a bad place to be. So, Allison,
I want to also say hi and introduce Aggie Fodor. Hi, Aggie. How are you?
Hi, Aggie Fodor.
Being here. But I'm the jerk that before we started recording said, "Oh, do you get a lot of Game of Thrones comparisons?" Fodor. She said, "No, that's just me." Okay, moving on.
Well, I'll jump in and say Aggie is the true expert on the show within the Cozy Wall. So
really? So you were a fan already?
Well, I was going to ask who's the
growing
hardcore
up,
fan.
So I was already a fan of the show, and then rewatching it again as an adult, as part of my job to promote it, I just had a whole new appreciation for the show and, gathered so many tidbits. Yeah. And of course, interviewing the cast, learned even more about the show that I didn't know. So that was really fantastic.
What a fun job. Oh my gosh. I would love being the person that could do the promos for Little House on the Prairie. That's awesome.
Well, in the midst of right now, we do a thing sometimes with shows where we do a kind of a hot mix of 1 second of every episode.
Wow.
That's cool.
The sitcoms and things. And 6 months ago, I said, Aggie, we really got to do one. She's been doing it.
Wow. I'm almost done with it. Done with it.
That must take you forever.
Wait a minute.
Well, we joke about it because, in order to really do it quickly, you have to not be too vested, right? But I was sort of really bent on trying to find the quintessential second from each episode that would tell people which episode this is.
That's
right?
still going to take how long? Jeez.
Years. So what we're talking, 203 episodes. So, I mean, is that what you're talking? Are you literally pulling a second from each one?
Yep. 1 second from every episode.
It's still several minutes long.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Almost 3 minutes.
It'll be
Almost
about
3
4.5
minutes
minutes long. Yeah.
Yeah, more than 3 minutes long.
Allison, you're definitely in there for 1 second in your wheelchair going down.
No, I have to.
Yeah. I love all the promos you've done. I've seen where you've had Nelly promos and stuff where it's great Nelly clips. And then there is this what does Carrie say thing that we were chatting about because we just can't. No one can resist the hilarity of Baby Carrie. It's just.
Well, I'm curious, Aggie, after doing all these interviews, I mean, which one of us did the best interview? I'm not competitive, but I'm
So wait, I knew. Wait, they had that quiz. They had that quiz, and didn't I get the better score in the quiz?
Oh, I'm sure
about
you
the
did.
wagons. I knew what a bloody buckboard was.
Allison got the most minutes, so let's leave it at that.
Okay. Well, that's a comedian for you. She's always cracking wise.
But actually, I thought you both were phenomenal, and I learned so much from both of you as well. Things I didn't even know. Not to mention just insights on the show. I think one of the questions I asked everybody was, why do you think this show is still relevant? And I remember, Allison, you made a really excellent point about how people all over the world can relate to this show.
Yeah.
Because most people don't live in fancy apartments or big mansions. They live in a small house like the Ingalls with a big family trying to make it week to week. I think that's the gist of what you were saying.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah.
And that everybody, wherever they live, there's always a Mrs. Olson. And any kid who's ever gone to high school has a Nellie.
No
so
question.
everyone can relate to the show. And I thought, I hadn't really thought about that. And I thought that was an excellent point. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because I've had people in other countries that go, Dallas and Dynasty shows. Oh, they're fun. Yeah, I wish I had those clothes, but I don't even know anyone who does.
Yeah, right.
Little House, that's my life. That is a thing I can see. It's the Mrs. Olsen of my job. She was a pain again today.
Yeah. And Dean, if I can, I thought, I remember something you said that sticks with me still. I know how fond you are of David Rose, the composer, and I like what you said about how he was able to reflect the emotional life that was going on. Because on face value, the show is pretty austere. I think you said there's lots of dirt and dust, right?
Sure.
And
a lot of silence.
But the emotional life is huge, and David Rose brought this huge emotional spectrum to this simple setting, which magnified the impact, I think, of what we were all doing. He's a huge character in the program. There's no question.
Those strings kick in and you cry.
The was Gone with the Wind.
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
I think David Rose is part of why people cried.
There's
between Michael and the music. Michael would get the chin quiver, but that music would kick in, and that's it. Tears, boom, waterworks.
I mean, take away that music and you wonder what the impact is. I mean, I think it's just, or change the music. Music is just incredibly important to drama.
And oftentimes that hits you in the opening credits before the story is started. It's just the title of the show, the music is on, and oh boy, strap yourself in because you're about to be on an emotional ride for this episode.
Oh my God, I love the opening theme song. As soon as I hear it, right? You just, that emotional thing, it just grabs you and you're just like, here we go.
Well, and Aggie, I'm sure you know that theme started as a cue from a I believe an episode of Bonanza called The Cattle Drive.
It's cattle going over the river and they're playing
exactly. And David resurrected that cue and transformed it into the opening title.
Now it's little girls
for
coming
Little
over
House.
the hill.
And the way it was orchestrated in the cattle clip, it's a little more like da-da-da, like a Marlboro commercial kind of thing.
Sure.
But it's da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da, as the cows come through the barn. You're like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, exactly. And we treat it, I mean, I've done a number of different projects through the years and treated all kinds of different ways. I love treating it very simply with a solo piano, and it's just, there's just such warmth and heart to it.
And who has a French horn in their opening theme? Who has a French horn? We have a French horn.
Yeah.
My kids have been, and my husband have been camping this week, so they haven't been home, and they finally FaceTimed me last night. So I saw my 6-year-old daughter for the first time in a few days, and she was sitting laying in her bed, and she was just looking at me, and then she just starts going, da 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 da, and I thought, I am winning the parenting. I have won.
Good. So the time is running on us. Let's go back to Simi Valley for just a second. There was so much going on that weekend. Cody,
It was bananas.
you were there.
Bananas.
Yes, Cody
You
was
were
there,
there
right?
to capture it all for Cozi-TV. I mean, what was that like for you being there in this?
Man.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because right now I'm in Texas, but I just moved here from Castaic, Santa Clarita area. So it was a good opportunity to go back. And I learned so much just because I spent so much time in Simi Valley, but I didn't know the history of Little House in Simi Valley. So showing up, I have never seen so many people at a festival like that. And I was just blown away by the energy that everyone had and the joy. I mean, the lines were long, but there was still just so much positive energy, talking to people from around the country and even around the world, just how wholesome the show was. And, and people from all ages, they were bringing their young daughters and sons along with them, dressed up, and just, it was something that was truly remarkable to see.
I would, for our audience, NBC Universal is just a huge content creation machine. Cody, your title that I saw is NBC LX Digital Storyteller.
LX.
I love that. So, all right. So, what does that mean? And how was it that title brought you to this project that we're going to talk about?
So since that title, I'm now the executive producer of documentaries and series.
Okay.
So my goal is to go out and find different subjects that would be great documentaries on the storytelling side. I've been telling stories for going on 15, almost 20 years now. And from short format to feature length documentaries. And, I was talking with management about the Cozi-TV in the 50 years. And we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to kind of team up and be able to use a lot of stuff that, Angie did a phenomenal job of shooting interviews and working together to put this documentary together to air in September.
So, all right. So we haven't dropped the title yet. What is the title of the documentary? And tell us when we're going to see it.
Yeah, when.
Right.
Yes. It is a Loving Little House 50th anniversary. This will drop September. Sorry, what was that?
It's Loving Little House?
Right.
Loving House.
Yes.
Yes, Loving Little House. So this will drop September.
So it drops on September 7th. We have a quick promo for this.
Goody.
Let's just let everybody see the promo. Let's just pause for a second.
Holy smoke, this is big.
People love it. People are obsessed with Little House on the Prairie.
It makes me feel comfortable. It reminds me of my childhood.
Michael was a genius.
He made it real.
Loving Little House, the 50th anniversary celebration, September 7th on Cozi-TV.
That's great, you guys.
Yeah, no.
You're leaving us wanting more and more and more.
There's so many people at that thing.
Talk about a teaser. My goodness.
So when you do all of you, Tom, Aggie, Cody, when you do something like this, what kind of and you're running it 3 times, right? So on the 7th, the 9th, and the 25th of September, so you can check Cozy's schedule for that. Where else will it air? I mean, is it going to be on Peacock? Where will it be? No, it will not be.
Where is it? It's a Cozy exclusive.
It's a Cozy
is it now?
Exclusive. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Only on Cozy.
So get it. You'll have to find us.
You're so hard to find. You're easy to find. Everybody's got
Don't
Cozy.
worry, they will to watch this thing. They sure will. I think we need to take a very quick break, but when we come back, we'll be with Tom, Aggie, and Cody again and talk more about Little House 50th anniversary on Cozi-TV. Be right back.
When you visit Simi Valley, California, you're stepping into the pages of history. Go from the pioneers to the presidents. Explore beautiful wildflowers, hike through iconic Hollywood locations, and end your day aboard the actual Air Force One at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum. Throughout the summer, take the Little House 50th Anniversary Tour at Big Sky Movie Ranch. Less than 15 minutes from Los Angeles and 30 minutes from Universal Studios, Simi Valley has small-town charm with big-time history. Go to visitsimivalley.com for more information. We are so grateful to visitsimivalley.com for their commitment to presenting the Little House 50th Anniversary podcast.
And we're back with Tom Hill, Aggie Fodor, and Cody Broadway. Have to do the jazz hands when we say his name. To talk about Little House on the Prairie's 50th anniversary on Cozi-TV.
Okay, so Cody was there at the scene. Now, Simi Valley was mind-blowing. Was it 18,000 people, that thing? That was, we'd never seen anything like it.
18,000 from 27 countries.
I remember the Peruvians stopped by my table. It was quite something. So what surprised you the most? We were just like, our minds were blown the
shocked
whole 3 days. We were a mess. What surprised you?
I think just the energy, when you have 18,000 people in it, and to be able to have that type of energy on the positive side, and everyone just really in all about what was going on and all about all of the signings and things that the meet and greets that went on. And everyone said, how wholesome the show was and how it made them feel. You talked about David Rose earlier. Several people talked about how the score itself was one of the emotional side of really embarked the emotional side for them. That is something that I've done several stories over the my career, and just the fact that people are paying that close attention to those types of details speaks a lot. And those were probably the biggest prizes and takeaways.
Now, Cody, were you a Little House fan? Have you been a Little House fan through the years, or is the Little House world a relatively new thing for you?
It is. So I grew up on it in West Texas. I grew up watching it here and there with my family, and then life got in the way and everything, and I got away from it. So I've really started spending the last 6-7 months really digging deep into it to put this story together, and it is one of those things that I've now introduced it to my own children, and we have watched it on Peacock and Cozy throughout the summer. And it was one of those things that sticks out to me as an adult. And this is one thing I heard a lot of people say, was that the life lessons from when they are children are completely different, today, that they can take something away. And then, same thing of passing down to my children. They're taking certain things away that I'm taking maybe a little bit different going through life.
Totally.
Each generation is getting something else out of it. We're on, as I say, we're on our 7th generation of viewers, I think, but each generation is finding stuff in it that people weren't. It's amazing.
And the difference between watching it as a child and then watching it again as an adult is a very different experience as well. And you get something out of each experience, but they're different. They're very, very different.
And go ahead. Oh, and I was just going to say, just the way it was shot, and it still stands up to modern television. Everything that we're seeing today. It's beautiful. The cinematography, the music score that we've talked about several times. It just really stands up to today.
Well, Cody, I think the restoration that Lionsgate did in 2014. the visual restoration. They could do a little tweaking of the audio. That's a much harder fix to do. But the visual restoration that they did, I think, made the show more beautiful. It's more beautiful now than it was when it was new. It's just that the subtlety of the correction that can be done. And they went back to film and they restored all of the original content. So previous versions of DVDs of the show had been made from syndicated Betacam masters.
Cut to ribbons. I mean, there were whole chunks missing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was like 2 minutes out of every show. Well, Lionsgate went back to all of the originals and did it from film. So it made it really quite spectacular. And even though it's 4:3 and not 16:9 as we've come to expect, it just still works. It works.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
Tom, can I just ask you something real quick? So Cozi-TV has been on for 11 years, but Little House didn't come on until 2016. So what was that? How did that come to be? What was that decision?
That was just before my time here. But I'm sure they said to themselves, well, one of the best shows ever is available. Let's get it. That's what they
awesome.
said.
Yeah. Oh,
we'll take it.
very nice, Tom.
Not sucking up at all. Was that a slight
nostalgic show of
Very
all
well done.
time.
Because it's the best show ever. That's why we have.
So
No, I would say, actually, just to back up and talk a little bit about how we got to the special. I think,
yes, please.
how the sausage is made. But, we've had the show, and we're a small place. We have limited staff, limited ability to do things. It's easy to cut up old footage and make funny promos, but production is a little harder for us. But we had, I somehow noticed, like, Karen Grassley's out there. Why wouldn't we reach out and shoot something with her? And then she had her book. We did an interview. And then I think that was maybe how Dean first noticed us. And then Dean came to us, and one thing led to another. And we were like, yeah, of course we want to shoot interviews with everybody. And we got Aggie out to LA and,
awesome.
did these wonderful interviews. And I you guys were great. Bonnie was the one that really sold. She was so amazing and such a surprise for me. It was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And then we had done something similar actually with Emergency, another old show from was a year older. So
Randolph Mantooth.
Randy Mantooth. Oh, he was handsome.
Exactly. And we said, we got to do a 50th special for that, and we did it, and it almost killed us.
We
were just, oh my God, we got a day job here. We can't make we make a show on the side. So when this came along, we were like, we'd love to. Luckily, Cody, out of his news background, was part of the LX group, which is sort of a subgroup. It is complicated, but he was available to us. We said, wonderful. So Aggie gave him all the interviews.
Yeah.
We sent him to Simi and said, do your magic. And the special is, everyone's going to love it. It's wonderful. It's
so excited.
It is loving Little House is what it is. It's a love fest, and it's great.
Do you have favorite moments?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Dean.
there you go. No, go ahead,
talk
Pamela.
over you.
Yeah.
No, I was just wondering, do you guys have favorite moments from the documentary?
You want to jump in? The story from Turkey, a woman who
Yes, you made a social promo out of that. Very nice.
Yeah. We can share that beforehand. But she was so well spoken, and it was such a beautiful story, and that stood out for me.
Mm-hmm. Mine would probably be this section about Michael Landon and what he meant to the show, and just it's a very emotional part of this documentary that, to me personally, I think it fits just perfect in the pacing of it all, and I think that's people are really going to take something away from that.
Mm-hmm. Aggie, how about you?
Well, I love when Allison talks about the relatability and the global impact that the show has.
Yeah,
I think there's something moving about that. Just like how it's reverberated across the globe.
Well, it blows my mind. I mean, when I meet people from every country, I mean, Borneo, Sri Lanka, I'm not kidding. And places where the guys, our village had electricity for only so many hours a day. We used it to watch Little House on the Prairie. My family had the only TV in our village. The neighbors would gather in the yard to watch through our window to try to see Little House on the Prairie. Yeah. My mother bought curtains and said, "Go away, get your own TV." I mean, it was just these stories from these. It was unbelievable and blew my mind. And one of the things is that Michael, because we're talking about him, always said, he said it to you, he said it to Melissa, "Oh, you know, when we're all gone, people will still be watching this show." And everyone he said this to kind of went, "Well, that's nice." That
well, when you're 25 years old, you're sort of going to live forever. You don't think that it's ever going to be a time when you're not going to be there.
And the idea that, well, that's a great thing, but really, it's a TV show. You really think... And here we all are.
Here we are, 50 years later.
And he knew, because everybody asked us, did we know it would still be hot 50 years later? We'd be doing it? No, we did not. Michael did. And it's just that the resonating with other countries and the people who come up to me crying. I was on a train in France, and this young guy in like the tracksuit with the gold chains, kind of like a tough young teenage guy, and he was touching his chest and saying, mon enfance, my childhood, and crying.
Yeah.
What show? Who does that?
Yeah, no, it's very. I mean, so you're running this 3 times on your air. Is there any plan to make it available for sale? Is there going to be any other kind of digital distribution on this? Because there should be.
As you know, there's a lot of underlying rights involved.
Yes, there are. Right.
Damn. I would suggest that you DVR this baby because.
Good to know.
The best shot.
Just in case.
Yes.
We don't know.
It's here for a limited window. It's there because we're promoting the show on Cozi-TV.
Sure, cool. Sure. What else?
Yeah, it may. You never say never.
Sure. But beyond beyond this, what else is? I mean, I do. So Aggie created these beautiful packages with, I guess, what was it, 8 of us or something like
12,
that?
Actually, yeah.
12. Beautiful packages that allowed you to sort of crystallize our individual stories on the program. Really nicely done. How do you sense your audience has responded to all this during the course of the year leading up to September 11th?
Oh, to those
the promos, to all the things that you've done. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I see most, of course, people, it reminds them of their childhood. And a lot of fun memories. I also remember reading a lot of comments where people, when people in Leslie Landon Matthews' bit when she talks about her dad. And, there were a lot of people who said, when I was a kid, I pretended Charles Ingalls was my dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I didn't realize that. And I thought that was super cool. And I think people, in response to Allison, the character of Nellie, I think people have this, probably every year that goes by, this profound understanding how they understood that when they were kids, they hated Nellie. And so they hated the actor, but then realized, actually, she was so brilliant because she's such a nice and wonderful and funny person. And she could make us hate her in the show, So there was a lot of comments that people really appreciated what your performance, Allison. I think people really, really got that. Finally.
It only took me 50 years to get credit for what I did on that show. Damn it!
Well, but
pragmatically, as the creative director, it just blew our social media numbers away.
I'll bet.
Oh yeah.
Really?
We were just looking at the statistics. Double, triple of what we ordinarily would get.
Our fans are on the internet. Mm-hmm. Yes, you are.
Yeah, people were just hungry for more and more and more, even though most of these people already know everything about the show. They just ate it up. They just loved it. And I think it's great to hear from the actors directly, right? I mean, what could be better? than hearing from your voice, your own experience of being in the show and your thoughts about it. I mean, you can't really beat that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cody, did you film? So I'm sure when you were in Simi, you filmed the fans and the fan experience, but were you filming like the panels and?
Yeah. So we have some of the panels that will be featured in this. That's great. I there's a little bit of everything from Simi. So I tried to put as much as I could in, because there was so much that was going on, from, just the fan reaction to things, but then the panels, the meet and greets, things like that were really personal. And then also the Big Sky Ranch as well, putting some of that in there too, because that was just, for me, coming into this, that was all jaw dropping just to see.
Yeah. I think I have a video that I took. So we arrived sort of like the day or two before the festival actually took off, and Kevin was with me and Chris and I were doing the panels, moderating the panels. And he was like, okay, get in the car and I'll take you to the ranch. We'll have a private tour. And we're like, okay. And I'm just sort of filming on my phone as we're going up the hill, having no idea that as soon as you curve on that hill, there's the house. Yeah. There's the hill. And it's just a video of me screaming, just screaming at the top of my lungs. I just couldn't believe it. And, seeing the town center and even seeing the interiors of the sets.
Yes.
Got a little double rainbow moment there.
Oh my gosh. Just a really insane experience. Really. I'm so glad you caught that.
It's fantastic that Cozi, like Tom, Aggie, Cody, that you made the commitment to capture this. It's a time capsule piece of something that was very, very special, and the coverage that resulted, the overall coverage that resulted from the event was spectacular, and and yet even with all that, there are so many people that have said, I didn't know anything about it. I wish I'd been able to be there. And there's conversation about maybe doing this again in some, on some other level, slightly different level.
You're scaring me. You're scaring me.
But there is that conversation, because I think there's an audience out there that wants to hear it. And all of you have been so essential in helping to celebrate this 50th anniversary. We thank you so, so much for what you've done, all of you.
Yeah. And of course, at the 11th, the big day, but don't forget the 18th, because 18th is when Country Girls air. So that's my personal 50th.
Yes. So where are we all meeting?
We got to go. I don't know. I've got to find a restaurant. We got to go party. We got to have a serious party on the 18th.
So you're going to take a DVD in there and we're going to run it on yes, of course. We have to do that.
We'll have to order in cinnamon chicken.
Yeah. What? Yes. I made cinnamon chicken I had never had cinnamon chicken. About 2 months ago, we did a social piece on it where we found a recipe and made it in my kitchen at home. Catherine and I made it, and it was delicious.
It's great.
It was fantastic. I did put a little cayenne pepper on it, just a bit, because I like a little spice. But the combination of that, of the cinnamon and the cayenne and the apple cider that was in the marinade and all that, it was just incredible. I thought it was fantastic. Got to be a regular. I recommend it to everybody. Check out my social, official Dean Butler. You can search to find the making
apple
of cinnamon
cider
chicken.
Marinade. Yeah. That's really nice. That makes it an apple cinnamon.
Yeah, it's got honey in it.
Yeah.
And apples. It's really good.
I do I do like a pan fried, crunchy, crusty thing, but with cinnamon and There's multiple recipes, but cinnamon and chicken actually do go together.
They do.
It's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Now let's not descend into a cooking show, Pamela. I think we have to sort of excuse ourselves here, but thank you.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I cannot wait. Genuinely cannot wait to see the documentary. I'm thrilled that you did it, and I'm so excited for it. And thank you for supporting Little House all of these years and the festival in Simi.
It's a privilege.
You're welcome. Yes.
Okay, Tom, Aggie, and Cody, it's time to go, unfortunately. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
What else, guys? Dee and Allison, what else have we got? Anything to say before we leave?
Really just, Country Con coming next year. Connecticut this weekend. Lancaster. Lancaster, is that how you say it?
Lancaster.
Lancaster, PA. Johnny Cash's farm in September for an event in Lyle,
I'm going
Tennessee.
to Salt Lake City in September. The FanX, big old
which will be a
all
monstrous
Melissa
event.
Gilbert will be there. We'll both be
that-
there at
that'll be
FanX in
huge.
Salt Lake City. And then France. We get to France. Je vais la France encore. I'm going to France again in October for I got like 7 shows. I don't know.
It's just going to be hysteria.
Yes, it will
More
be
Nelly
madness.
hysteria.
More Nelly hysteria.
Well, and hopefully I'll be able to pop on by Connecticut this weekend.
Awesome.
Say
Please,
hello to you.
Be great.
So
That would
you'll
be
have
great.
to sneak me in though. So
will.
don't tell anyone.
Oh, okay.
Also, if you want to check us out, please check us out on our socials, Little House 50 Podcast, or our website, littlehouse50podcast.com. We will have all of your packages, your promo, all of it for Cozy TV up there. And can't wait to share it all with you guys. So anyway, I think it's time for Bob. Go get the wig.
Bob, get
and
the
let's
wig.
fly,
Bob,
everybody.
get the wig.
Are you guys ready to do some airplane runs with us? We're going to run down that hill.
Come on, do it, guys. There you go.
Yeah!
Oh.
Reframe it. I was at that hill in Simi Valley.